How does the toilet system work here?
The toilet system, everything goes to the water.
So this is the toilet here. You can see it's a shack. And so what, when they go to the toilet, it just falls through to the water?
Yes.
Okay. So the kids swimming in here are swimming in toilet water?
The kids swimming here, they are stubborn boys and girls. They don't want to listen.
Stubborn.
We stop them from swimming in this water, but they still don't want to hear.
Okay.
Yes, we stop them because the water is polluted.
Big time.
The water is polluted.
Yeah.
Because, you know, all this garbage from land, the canals on land links to this place.
As well?
Yes, links to this place.
Sewage?
Yes, and when rain falls, all the water from land and everything switches to this place.
A lot of sewage that comes from a city of 20 million people ends up here.
Yes, coming here.
So very, very polluted.
Yes, the water is polluted.
And the children don't get disease, or?
They don't. We don't know how God is doing it, but even I myself, if I fall into the water or swim this water, nothing would happen to me.
Come spend the day with me in Makoko's floating swamp community. So this video includes the kind of food you see here and also the way they live their life. The beautiful lady that brought me here was like, I should one day bring out time, come to Makoko and do a whole day vlog or even a 2 days vlog, because she was, according to her, they have a hotel here, they have where they make their hair here, they have where they barb their hair here. Like every single thing is in this place. Anyway, you're going to see all of them in this particular video. So the remaining snacks we couldn't share to the students because we bought snacks for 200 students. We had to share it as we are riding. So this is the first thing I'm going to drink. Should I be honest with you, all the names that she told me for these snacks, I have forgotten it, but this tastes more like pineapple drink and you can eat it with the bread. Drink costs 100 naira and the bread costs 100 naira, and I'm giving it a 8/10. Immediately after that particular one, we also saw someone that sells tea and bread, but because of our eating bread, I just said let them bring the tea, let me taste it. One thing I get to notice about the tea is that they put it ice, and I was like, why didn't they make it hot instead of putting it ice? And she was like, if it is in the afternoon, that place can be very, very hot. That's the reason why most of their drinks here are cold instead. We also bought this. It looks more like tiny buns, but it's not tiny buns, and it said that it's made from cassava. The last snacks I bought that looks like buns is made from cassava, and it is their main snacks, or will I say food here. I also had to try this biscuit and it tastes nice and it costs 100 naira. Coming to the small buns, they are of 3 types. One is fried normal, the other one I think they put palm oil and fry it, and the other one I think they just fried it with palm oil, and they have their unique taste, and you can eat it with banana or fish. This their sugar cane is 200 naira and it just tastes like normal sugar cane. So when we were riding, this man had to tell us that we should come and see the way he makes fishing nets, and he also showed me, will I say, the fishing line or the fishing tray that he used in making them, and they are very, very tiny, and also the end is very, very heavy. He can make it with different colors. The current one he's making is white, but the one I carried is made from green and white. She was like, they live normal life here. You see the people that picks can, even the people that picks iron. There are also hospitals, pharmacies, and different supermarkets here. I once asked her where they get their water that they use in bathing, cooking, and she told me, don't worry, I'm going to see for myself. I don't know if you are watching that video, you see someone that was putting water inside jelly can. Yes, they also pump water here. Not only that, people also sell fuel here, but it's black market, because according to her, some people need to fuel their boat to fish, and also some people need to fuel their gen to on lights for maybe their barbing hair, making hair, all those things. So we had to come to one particular community. We stayed there and we shared every single thing to them there because we are about to go home. So I finally had to test their rice, and I had to ask her where is the stew made from, and she was like, it is green stew. I also bought these snacks, and I also bought this sweet the sweet test from Milkos, and I had to ask them how is it made, how is the thing made, and they had told me sha, but yeah, I forgot. You see that boat is filled with jellycan and they are all fuel. So I also got this particular snacks, and this is just bread and coconut, and I was thinking that it's going to be something very I had to ask her a question: have the government ever thought closing down this swamp? And she was like, they can't. Reason, because they get more of their votes from here. As someone that likes adventure, I really learned a lot from here. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.
This week on the 77% Street Debate.
Of course, if they're going to develop this very place, it has to go down, because there's nothing for you to renovate here.
In 5 years, you are going to see a fancy estate here that is going to be sold to people who cannot afford it. Think of the 5 big billionaires. They can't even spend their wealth in a lifetime. And there's a community existing like this. So would they take those kind of money to hell or to heaven?
Hello and welcome back to the 77%. This week we are in Lagos, Nigeria. More specifically, we're in Makoko, an informal area in this place. Now, recently, or the most recent figures by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics indicate that about 80 million people are living in extreme poverty. This means people who earn just over $300 a year. But the World Bank estimates that that figure will probably have shot up to 100 million by the end of this year, that's 2022. And so we're wondering, how do those people who live in extreme poverty live side by side with some of the richest on the continent, and what does that disparity do to our society? Well, I've got here a panel of very good-looking people who are ready to speak to me, and I'm going to start with Henry, who works for Oxfam, and you also did a report on inequality. But before we get to your findings, this is the first time that you're here in Makoko. Just give me your views so far. What do you think?
It's quite disheartening to see on ground what we analyze on paper or somewhere on television or in the media. I haven't seen why this place is so disassociated from the rest of the country. I haven't quite seen a people as impoverished as I'm seeing here today. I haven't seen an environment as deserted as I'm seeing here today. I haven't quite seen lack of government presence like I'm seeing here today. It's quite disheartening, I must say.
All right. So I want to ask Noah, who, by the way, we are at a school, and Noah is the one who runs the school. And so you live in this area. How does it feel to hear that your fellow Lagosians who live just next door have never been here?
In this kind of situation, the richer gets richer and the poor get poorer. Because this is a community that has been existing for more than 100 years. And the population of people living on water here is more than 100,000 people. Thousands of children are at home without education. And this is inequality. And there's no government presence in these communities.
Okay, let me speak to Nkem for a second. So the people you're assisting come from these sorts of communities. But is it common for you to hear that the people who live in these communities are excluded, as Henry was saying, from the rest of society?
Yes, so most of these women are really excluded from, like, for us, the financial system. So most of them, they are left behind. So we are coming to bridge that gap, because, like you see, most of those women, they don't have collateral. Some of them do not have bank accounts. They do not have it. So we help facilitate that. We help them kickstart that financial inclusion journey.
All right, before we get to, what can be done to stop this inequality, Henry, I want to come back to you, because I want to understand, Makoko has been in existence, as we've heard from Noah, for over 100 years. But how did we get to this place where an entire community is living on the outskirts of a city and being excluded in every sense of the word?
The issue of poverty is not as a result of resources not being available. It's because resources are available, but a few people, that 1% or that 5%, have actually hijacked the entire resources and opportunity. And so for us, some of the drivers of inequality, right, includes political capture, right, where politics actually, those in the political arena actually capture the entire opportunity and resources. The other drivers actually include a prohibitive high cost of governance, yeah?
Okay, let me ask the other... Oh, you would like to add? All right, let me introduce Funmi to the conversation. Go on.
Okay, a very big issue that I have found out among people who live here is regressive taxation.
People in this community are fishermen. People here do not really want to leave this place. They want this place to be suitable for them to fish. And then when they get to the market where they want to sell their fish, every time someone is coming to them to say, oh, you have to pay this tax, you have to pay that tax, you have to pay this tax. Now, in Nigeria, they claim that public education is free. But then, before your child can access that public education, you have to show proof of payment of tax. Unfortunately, the kind of tax that they pay is not the kind of tax that has proof that they pay tax, which means that they also have to pay another form of tax. I think it's 20,000 naira before they are enrolled into public school. So this is a reason why many people here do not have access to education, they do not have access to healthcare and other economic drivers.
Okay, let me speak to Henry because I wanted to ask him, having grown up, you grew up in Makoko, right?
Yeah.
But not on the water side, on the land side.
Yeah, on the land
Are these the realities that you were experiencing every day? Tell me what growing up there was like.
So growing up in Makoko, for me, I would say it's like a privilege. You get a privilege in the sense that I had to, try as much as possible to learn day by day. So it has to come with parents. If your parents are educated, then definitely they really want to push you to do more. But in a scenario whereby your parents too are not really that educated, and even the environment you find yourself, people are not pursuing that level of education, then I tell you that's why you have thousands of children roaming around the streets, not going to school.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just opportune that my parents are educated and they fight, that fight for me to make sure that I attain that degree of education.
Right, so what you're describing here is what academics would say is a cycle of poverty.
Yeah.
Daniel, is it something that you also experienced? No, you didn't grow up in Makoko, but as an informal settlement as well. Was your experience similar to what we're observing?
Oh, mine is similar, but not this extreme, because, coming from a place where you have to constantly provide for yourself, you have to constantly do things for yourself. Just like my fellow colleague said, the governments are not really interested in our well-being. We've seen government organizations come down to these communities just to take pictures because they want to post on social media, they want to make it look like they're doing something. So I think what is the real problem is not that we don't have the resources, but the problem is they really don't see these people as our own.
Okay, let me move to Fortune, who's standing right next to you, and he's an advisor actually to a local official. Yeah. And so being the person who informs the kind of decisions that are taken to restore places like this, I guess the question is, why is nothing changing?
Okay, the truth is, what you are seeing here today is not just peculiar to this community. This thing transcends, every other African countries. And I want to believe that...
But surely not this extreme.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is this. What you are seeing here today is a result of greed. Are you getting me? It's a result of greed. The African leaders, they have not conquered greed, and that is why they are not empathic to places like this. Just like what Daniel just said. Sometimes they go to these slums, they take pictures and the rest of it. Thank God I am here today and I have seen firsthand myself. I felt so very, very bad, so very, very pathetic. Like, human beings like me are living in this kind of a place. Are you getting me? That's why I said it is not just peculiar to this very place. It transcends. Are you getting me? So
yes. Before we get to the two of you, let me invite the other Daniel. Yes, we have two Daniels and two Henrys. I hope you can keep up. So, Daniel, we're talking about distribution of resources, and I have to ask, because you work and founded, if I believe, Follow the Money, where are the gaps? Every year when the budget is read out, there's a lot of money being pumped into the country. Why isn't it getting here?
It's been a systemic issue for people not to be able to, for government that are supposed to cater for the needs of people living in this kind of space, not to take care of them. There is so much greed, there's so much a problem of people not understanding the fact that there is need for people to be taken care of. So leadership is a major problem, and that is what we are lacking.
All right, Noah, you wanted to. Noah wanted to say something to me. Let's start with him. Yeah.
I want to add to what Fumi said earlier. In Nigeria, every child deserves education, whatever they are. Mm-hmm. We are on water. That doesn't mean that children can't go to school on water. Mm-hmm. And there's no how you can take a live fish from the water and put it on the dry land to survive. It can never survive.
How many schools are here, Noah?
Schools are here. This is the major school on water here. We also have some small schools within this community.
Do you have any hospitals, police stations?
There's no police station on water. We didn't have government school, government maternity. Either is which on water. And we've been living here for more than 100 years.
Yeah. Funmi had something to say to me, and then Henry, I'll get to you.
What Daniel has said. Yeah. Places like this are not developed, not because the government does not know that they should develop it, but because the government, especially the Lagos state government, is bent on commercializing places like this. For example, Banana Island, which is presently like the most expensive place where you can live in Lagos, was a slum. And we have a lot of people who live here who moved to this place from Banana Island. So places like this are identified by the government. And I have read and also spoken with community members who told me that in 2008, 2012, and I think 2002, this place was about to be demolished. And they got a notification 2 days ago, if I'm right, that they have sold this place to some government officials and that in 2 years, this place is completely going to be demolished. And then if that happens, in 5 years, you are going to see a fancy estate here that is going to be sold to people who cannot afford it. And it's still going to be the same rich people that are buying the same assets that we have in Nigeria.
Okay, let me ask Henry, because having lived in this community, was that a fear that you had? Because I've heard it said that, yeah, people don't know if tomorrow they're going to wake up and their house is going to be underwater.
Yeah, that's why most people, when you look at the houses, some of them don't really want to renovate the house because they are scared of, okay, by tomorrow now, the government might just come and take all of us away. So why am I doing this? But the main point I'm looking at is that, okay, if governments want them to evacuate this place, what are the source of livelihood? How do they want them to keep surviving? Because these people are fishermen, okay, they need to fish on water, stuff like that. So if they are going to take them out of where they stay, where are they putting them? So,
all right, let me ask Fortune for a second here, because based on this, in the rooms you sit with, is the plan to get rid of informal settlements like Makoko?
Recently, there was something that happened in a particular community in Lagos State, and it was discovered that some persons grabbed a particular place, gave it out to their cronies. But our incumbent governor, he came to set the standard state and straight, and he ensured that the rightful owners of the properties had access to their properties, and it is still for the people in that community. Are you getting me? So sometimes I think we are also having issues with informations. I'm not telling you that some of these things are not happening. Are you getting me? But with what I know right now, the present governor we have in Lagos State is a very, very proactive governor. Like, he's very empathic.
Okay. Let me hear from Henry, who had something to say to me earlier, and then we'll come to you, Noah.
Yes, I wanted to mention the fact that when he mentioned greed at first, and I said, I recall what happened just 2 weeks ago of a particular government official who was accused of stealing 80 billion. And I can imagine what 80 billion can do in this Makoko community. Mm-hmm. It can actually build, up to 3-4 schools here. It can build up to 4 other hospitals of international standard, provide the basic amenities for this particular community. But what we see is the reverse. Because most of these government officials, their kids are in school abroad, in the UK, in the US, and all of that. They go for health tourism themselves. They don't even eat locally. Yeah. So someone can actually go to London and watch Arsenal match, for example, and then come back in the evening and have breakfast in Lagos. So yeah. It's so pathetic that some of these government officials don't exactly care. And next year's election, they'll be all about eating with the people and in local places, asking them to vote for them. They'll be all about riding buses with people and on the streets, begging for votes. Once they secure these votes come 2023, they disappear from the street. Okay. They're back in their covens.
So there's not distrust, but there's lack of transparency from the people who are running for office in as far as what their plans are with this area. Okay, but Daniel, I want to give Daniel a chance to talk about what he's doing, because while we're hearing that there's very little empathy going around, you're actually doing something to try and transform these communities. Tell us what you're doing.
Way back in 2015, I started talking to my friends. I said that we need to start teaching our friends, our fellow friends within the community, graphics design, coding, Microsoft Excel. We need them to learn a skill so they can provide for themselves, because Correct. It doesn't seem like we have jobs. But when we started, we noticed there was a problem, because most of us, now I'm using us because it's inclusive. Now, most of us from our community don't know how to read and write in English. So that was when we started providing them with basic skills like how to understand English, how to write in English, how to solve of mathematics, and from there the idea grew. We started getting notice from bigger organizations within our communities. People will only invest in communities like this when there's something to gain.
When there's something to
Exactly.
gain. Okay, I want to move the conversation along because unfortunately the rain is threatening to throw this party off, but we must continue. So what are the consequences? Noah, I want to come back to you because we've heard a lot about insecurity in this country. I'm wondering if it's a symptom of inequality. What are some of the things that you're seeing as a result of people being left behind?
If there's inequality in the country, you can see some guys they decided to join people that are doing riots because they don't have job to do. They don't know what to do.
Right.
And in this kind of situation, government need to do something.
Yeah. Funmi, I'd like to hear what this level of inequality does for women because unfortunately our gender is always disproportionately affected when it comes to issues like this.
In communities like this, there are high cases of forced marriages, child marriages, teenage pregnancy, abuse and rape because of we have certain cultural and traditional beliefs that tend to think that women are of the lesser value. Women should get married as soon as possible. But we have found out that many government policies that we have in Nigeria, people in this community do not know about it because we have no government presence here. Also, when women are forcefully married out, when women are raped, when women face domestic violence, we do not have support for them here. How has the federal government tried to reach communities like this to ensure that women in this community are safe?
All right. Let me ask Fortune that same question. You did speak very highly about your governor earlier, but the question is, why hasn't that governor brought schools, hospitals, police stations to this place if you think so highly of it?
Okay, when we talk about development, when we talk about growth, it is not just an automatic thing. Are you getting me? It takes gradual process. So for me, I haven't getting rid of this very place because I know that sometimes in the future anything can come up. Are you getting me? So,
No, I don't. I don't understand that. So you don't develop it because of what might happen in the future?
No. I'm not saying it's not going to be developed. You know, at the moment right now, I don't even know what is the plan of the government concerning this very place because I don't even know that a place like this does exist. I'm just having the idea today. So I cannot actually say, okay, this is what has been there or this is what is going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so, Daniel, let me come to Henry and Daniel. You're itching. Talk to me, Daniel.
So it is obvious that there is no sustainable plan by government.
Evidently.
On how to make this place what it's supposed to be. The only time we get to hear government in the news around cases like this is where, okay, we need to demolish this place. Okay, we need to find a place or maybe move. Even in the area of moving the people, there is no sustainable plan to move them to a place that you say, okay, this is a better
But
option.
I mean, as Noah said, I don't think moving them is the option because they're fishermen. They don't want to move.
Exactly. So if since they really want to stay here, what is that plan? For this kind of
Henry.
Okay,
one at a time.
Government folks are always full of excuses. Trust me, and he has just given us a very fantastic excuse just a while ago. But again, you see, a community like this is similar to the Eco area. Where lands were gained from the sea, from the waters. Why can't they gain this land from these waters and then hand it over back to the people and then give them access to the sea where they can fish? Because it's not government priority. It's because their priority, they will gain it for themselves and use it for their own good. Think of the big names in Nigeria, all the 5 big billionaires. They can't even spend their wealth in a lifetime. And there's a community existing like this. So would they take those kind of money to hell or to heaven? Why don't they begin to look at other means of actually redistributing those resources through taxes? These issues are because government do not prioritize the informal economy. Trust me, they're taxing this environment.
All right.
But they're not taxing. Yes.
Fortune.
Yeah. See, Henry, I was going to say something there. See, let me just tell you this. He was saying something about demolition, affecting the people, and the rest of it. If you want change, there is consequences for change. Are you getting me? If this very place is going to experience development, automatically, every inhabitant of this very place must be affected. So it's not like maybe I am defending the government or whatsoever. If they are going to develop this very place, it is not something of 2 years because this place is waterlogged. Are you getting me? So it's something that will take years.
At the same time, it depends on the kind of development we're looking at. Are we talking about development in the sense that you want to demolish? If they are looking at...
Of course, if they're going to develop this very place, it has to go down. Because there's nothing for you to renovate here.
Now,
trust me.
Okay, let me...
Abuja became a capital. Abuja became a capital in 1989. Moving from Lagos to Abuja.
Hold on.
From Lagos to Abuja, a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen in Abuja.
Everyone, while I love the energy of this debate, we need to have it be one person at a time. Henry, let's hear from you.
Yes. So when the capital moved to Abuja, the indigenous of Abuja were affected. And they were actually relocated to a safe place before those areas were developed. When they were developed, they moved them back to their
Isn't that
origins.
what Fortune is saying? That
It's not exactly the same. What they can do, right, is the same thing that they did in Abuja. Relocate them. Relocate them out.
Yeah.
Develop the place and bring them back.
Okay. So I'm sorry, we have to wrap up, and so I've got to ask for solutions. I need to know what the Nigerian government can do, what African governments can do to close the gap between the rich and the poor. Let's hear from you, Daniel.
Okay. In terms of solutions, I think what needs to be done is proper sensitization within this community. We need to, first of all, the government needs to come down into this place and make them feel loved. First, they need to be empowered. They need to know that the government cares. There are younger people here. She talked about the rate of rape within this community. The girls need to be taken care of. There needs to be education within this place.
Exactly.
People need skills. We live in a community where it's either you're self-employed or you're not doing anything. So we need to empower these people. Definitely, when you talk about people from this place, they only perceive them to be street kids, to cause violence, to cause nuisance, and these things aren't intentional. So for the government to see change, for the government to see progress, they need to bring these people into the system.
Fortune, you've got something to say to me.
Yes. When I started, I said our problem in Africa is greed. Now, for those things that Daniel mentioned to become a reality, one, the African government must conquer greed. Number two, Henry said our legislators are the third highest paid in the world. They have to cut down on government costs.
You know they won't.
No, it's possible. No, it's possible. There's a whole lot going on in Africa right now.
Okay.
A whole lot of revolutions and the rest of it. I'm telling you nothing but the gospel truth. If these things must happen, our government in Africa must conquer greed.
Okay.
Because there's enormous resources in Africa to take care of places like this. But the problem is this, that a few are just sitting on the commonwealth of the masses.
All right, Kem, let me hear from you. Any solutions for me? How do we stop income inequality?
So for me, the solution I'll give to the government is for informal settlements like this. Data is key. So how do you know how many people live here? Then for this settlement, you can create low-cost housing for these people. So they need to empower their women. So because we believe that when you empower a woman, she empowers our community.
Yeah.
So creating solutions to bring about economic opportunities for the people in these communities. So skills development, access to finance is very key, because you can teach me a skill, but if I don't have the working tools, I won't go and start a business. So most of these people here, they don't even know that there are organizations that can help them. You don't need to stay in your community to be empowered. You can go outside, be empowered, and you come back and change your community.
Fantastic. Daniel, let's hear from you.
Okay, so I think government needs to show sincerity and commitment. Make sure people here the environment is livable for them. The resources that are meant for them, please let it get to them. Make them feel like they belong to the larger society.
Okay. Henry, you said something earlier about the richest man not being able to spend his wealth in a lifetime. But should he give it up? I mean, if you had billions, would you give it up?
The government should be deliberate about it. Government should use the instrument of tax to redistribute that kind of resources, yeah, such that the poorest of person can actually have access to the most basic of facilities and amenities. What government can also do is to be purposeful, deliberate, to invest in critical sectors, yeah, like health, education, and infrastructure, to also ensure that these people have access to them. Government can as well ensure that young people have jobs, yeah, because the reason why you see a lot of insecurity in the country is because these guys don't have jobs. If you create jobs for them and give them a meaningful environment, they will not be on the street. They will not be on the street carrying guns and killing their fellow human beings. And I think government should be able to live up to its responsibility come 2023.
Okay. Funmi, do you have any ideas of what we can do to end wealth inequality?
The government needs to start listening to people from communities such as this and stop listening to just policy experts who have most likely never stepped their feet into this community. For example, if you ask many people, they will say, oh, move them out of this community. And people from this community are saying, we want to live here, we just want to make it better. So communities such as this should be listened to, have town hall meetings, engage with them. When you engage with them and you listen to them, you know exactly what fits for people in each community.
Okay, and I'd like to close this debate by asking Noah a personal question. If you had it your way and you had all the money in the world and the power, what would be the first 3 things you would do for the people of Makoko?
The first thing they will do is to make sure they have access to education. Second is to make sure that there are medical care within the community. The third one is to empower the youth. Because I have people who were born and brought up on water here. He has over 40 years, but he has never stepped on land. And he's very comfortable living here, going fishing and coming back. That means to tell you that living on water is our culture.
Yeah.
I was born and brought up here. If I didn't have the opportunity to go to school, I can't be speaking to you like this.
Correct.
That's why I want the next generation to have access to education.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noah, and thank you to our panelists who have braved the boats to come here, who have braved the weather to stay and speak to us, and also I have to thank the crew today for also enduring the same. And to you, our dear viewers, thank you for watching.
Sanbonani, Tumelang. How are you today, guys? Sanbonani, Tumelang. So yeah, welcome to my Abahambe TV, where we sort the issues out of this country. Guys, as you've seen there in that video, Buffett, it's bad. It's bad out there in Nigeria. Hence, these people, they are here, doing whatever it is that they like. So guys, please like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep on making good videos for you guys. So you can imagine a place like Makoko. Imagine taking those people, bringing them here to South Africa, a Hillbrow. What happens? See these pictures that I'm uploading for you up here? Unfortunately, I couldn't get better pictures due to copyright issues and whatever. This is what is currently happening in Hillbrow and most of places in South Africa where these people are stationed. Durban, Joburg, Cape Town. I think Cape Town is a bit better because there's a lot of apartheid there, so they behave. But you can just imagine, guys. Look at that place. Will you be able to eat out of that water? Like that woman is sitting there taking a day vlog. Would you be able to drink or eat anything on that boat in that water? I don't think I can. You can just imagine the smell that is there. I don't know how many people are living there. I'm sure it's over 1 million. Who knows? So hence the people they are the way that they are. You can't stop these people the way they are. That's how they live. So the best thing for us is to get rid of them. Abahambe chu. Guys, Abahambe and Labantlam. Otherwise, what's happening in Hillbrow, what's happening in all these other small towns where Nigerians and all of these people have taken over, it's going to become worse. Already places like Hillbrow, it's worse. It's unbearable. Like you can't walk there, you can't step into those buildings. A few of them is still well maintained, but most of them, they are hijacked. That's how they look like. They look like these pictures that I posted for you here on top of my voice note. That's how bad it is. But what do you expect from people that come from that type of environment? Do you think they can come here and clean up wherever they stay? Hell no, they ain't going to clean up. They ain't going to do shit. Don't do what they're best at doing. littering everywhere, shitting everywhere. That's what they specialize in. Imagine, did you see the kid there in the water? A kid in the water where people shit. They let their government do that to them, so they want to come and do the same thing here in South Africa. Guys, wake up. Lama Simba, Lawa Melapen. Otherwise, we are going to end up looking like Makoko. I'm telling you guys. South Africa is going to end up looking like Makoko if we don't stop this thing right now. So, patriots, to Dula movement, march and march. Guys, let's go. Even you guys who are sitting at home, if you are sitting at home and you're not doing anything, join the march if there's a march. Because you sitting at home and you joining the march, at least when you join the march, you are doing something. Unlike sitting at home and sitting on street corners and doing bullshit. Guys, let's wake up. Otherwise, we are going to lose this country to these people. And it's going to look exactly like Makoko. That's how it's going to look like. Anyway, guys, please like, please subscribe to the channel. You know what's happening. Yeah, so we can get our ducks in a row, our followers in a row, our subscribers in a row. Yeah, we can get to that 100 subscriber mark at least by December. Thank you guys. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching the videos. Asbonge.